The college football experience, Texas A&M Aggies 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. IP Vanish is the official VPN of SGPN. They're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Draft Day 2.0. Yes, make sure to check out Draft Day 2.0 starting August 9th at noon Pacific. Ryan, Real Money Kramer of the Sports Gambling Podcast will begin drafting for 24 straight hours. The fantasy football marathon that just doesn't stop, but also it's the fantasy football marathon that will raise money for Daryl. Daryl's a loyal listener of ours who was injured in a motorcycle accident. We're wishing him the best and we're trying to help out. So head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft day for more details.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby. Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Texas A&M Aggies 2022 season preview episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
Oh, yes. Representing the 12th man. Subscribe on YouTube to the college football experience. And wherever you listen to podcasts at. Also remember, subscribe to the college basketball experience. We talk both year round. Buzz Williams doing a great job there, and the college baseball experience. A&M's good team this past year. Subscribe to all of those, but here we're talking Aggie football. Aggie up. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi. Well.
Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. We got a wild one here, Patty C, because off season, I mean, it's been wild. First off, Texas A&M landed the #1 recruiting class in the country. Old Nick Saban not happy with that. Jimbo Fisher basically said this after.
I can't talk to this son of a bitch. I can't talk to that son of a bitch. I really can't. I can't.
Patty C, I mean, a lot of talk, but I'll have you know, I locked up the under on A&M last year.
How'd that work out for you?
It cashed for me.
There you go.
It cashed. You look back at a year ago, Patty C. There's so much to talk about, but they were 8-4, and they're damn well pretty close to being 8-5. If Colorado was up like 59 minutes in that game, what do you make? What do you make of what we have going on in College Station? I think it's great entertainment. The Saban Fisher saga. I think it was great that Jimbo Fisher alluded to Nick Saban paying players, because you just saw Jeremy Pruitt, his former DC,
which we all knew all along anyway. But that is definitely the pot calling the kettle black.
They beat Bama last year, though. They beat Bama, a nice little fuck you last year
and
too.
What we thought was going to be the game of the year, it turned out pretty much to be the game of the year. Maybe, certainly on a very short list. But like you said, a couple hiccups here and there that can't be overlooked.
Now they lost Haynes King early, and it was Zach Calzada right? Have you ever had a calzada?
I have had a calzada.
Delicious dish at an Italian restaurant. He's gone though. So maybe you could say that was some of it, Patty C. But I do want to just talk Jimbo Fisher for a second. Jimbo Fisher's 34-14 in 4 years at A&M. He's 117-37 overall. He has a national championship, even though, in my opinion, I don't think he would have won a national championship had there been a invitational in 2013.
Yeah, you think they lucked up? They did play an Auburn team that kind of had to have two miracles go their way.
That was the one they barely got past Auburn. So the ACC schedule, no, you know me, I'm not buying into the ACC schedule.
Yeah, pretty sure Clemson wasn't quite there yet. I think that may have been the 1 year where Clemson was just getting there, but Florida State got the W.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, obviously they've gone in different directions since then. But
with NIL, Texas A&M is going to be dominant as far as bringing in talent.
Yes,
I think that is going to happen regardless, whether it's Fisher or whether it's, you know, Jim Bob Cooter. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter who's coaching it.
Yeah, I mean, Texas money and Texas talent go hand in hand. The boosters are going to go and get that talent. I mean, the fact that Texas went into the SEC. Let's talk about how that move has paid off for them.
Texas A&M, moving in.
It sounds like, I mean, to this point, it's paid off pretty well for them.
Yes, and Missouri.
Yeah, I mean,
Missouri went to the SEC East Championship a couple times.
It has since stopped paying dividends for Missouri, but early on it was good. But Texas A&M long term seems to have made this into a positive thing for themselves. I think you're right. I think based on that additional cachet, because they were kind of little brother in the Big 12 with Texas. Texas was still calling the shots. Texas A&M said, "Hey, wait. You guys aren't any better than we are." Like,
I love it.
Let's get this straight. And they went to the SEC, and now Texas is the one following Texas A&M around. I do think there's national championship potential here, but is it going to actually happen on the field is a different story.
I was about to say, I mean, you look, they haven't won a national championship since what, 1940, pre-World War II or something. Look, Jimbo Fisher's 34-14 in 4 years at A&M. What if I told you now he had to go through COVID and there was less games that season?
Although that was his best season.
But Patty C, look at the screen right now up there. Kevin Sumlin was 36-16 in his first 4 years.
Pretty similar.
Pretty fucking similar. It just makes me wonder. Now I will say this: unbelievable recruiting class. You look at what was it like the top? I feel like 7 of the top 15 defensive linemen. Went to Texas A&M, which is we'll see if that can pay off.
How does that even happen? Like if you're the 7th best,
why would you want to go there? Well, I wonder if they will transfer eventually, but they're going the Georgia route. And where it seems like they might not have the best quarterback, but they're going to load up on the line as a scrimmage. My only argument to that is, I don't believe Georgia would have won the national championship had they played in the SEC West last year.
I think you have a very good point. I think it's a much harder grind right now in the SEC West than it is the SEC East. And so, we're seeing A&M drop games that they shouldn't necessarily drop based on a talent standpoint. Although when we get to the composites, they're still pretty far down the list. They're like number 5 within the conference from a composite talent standpoint, which is about where they're finishing in the standings. So I don't even know that you can say that Fisher is underperforming based on the talent level. I think he's just got to continue to recruit at an elite level, which
we'll see.
He's done well. Last year was obviously amazing, like the best class ever, but right now, not that great.
Doesn't that look? Last year was great, and I don't want to take a shot at that, but bringing in 7 defensive linemen, only 4 can play at once. Now I understand depth is huge.
Yeah.
And who knows if those guys stay, but I still think you got to get an elite quarterback. And when I look at this team right now, I don't see an elite quarterback.
Sure.
And I didn't when, what's the guy in the Vikings? Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
You know,
he was pretty average.
I just don't know.
I mean Johnson has decent stats.
Well, his dad is Brad Johnson, former Florida State quarterback.
Yeah. I mean,
he was all right as a freshman. He didn't play horrible.
Yeah.
But I wasn't super impressed.
If 2 seasons now at LSU before the transfer, 59 and 60% completion percentage in those respectively. And then a total of 35 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I'd say that's very acceptable. You got to get the completion percentage up, but the touchdown interception ratio is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So look, I think if you're Texas A&M and you can surround a guy like that with talent, elite talent, then yeah, you can win big. I think they might be there, but there's still the SEC West to get through.
And that's my problem there. But let's hop into it. Offensive coordinators Daryl Dickey and James Coley. They were 56th in total offense a year ago, 44th in rush offense, 88th in pass offense, 71st in total offense. That's not cutting it based on that talent, right?
No, 81st in total offense.
Yeah.
Yikes.
6 starters are back on that offense. Like I said, Haynes King potentially back. He started 2 games for them last year for the injury. Max Johnson, I think it's going to be Max Johnson starting at the quarterback spot. They did lose Isaiah Spiller at running back. They lost Weidemeyer, the tight end. They lost the All-American guard Kenyon Green.
All big losses.
Or Kenyon Green, Keon Green. I don't remember.
Kenyon, yeah.
Is it Kenyon or Keon?
Kenyon.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah. First round pick number 15.
Stud.
Yeah,
Stud.
Tough to lose that.
Now they got Devon. I like to call him Octane. Devon Achane at running back. I think he's going to be nasty.
93 super plus.
He'll be nasty because the O line's bringing back 3 of 5 on the O line, led by center Bryce Foster. They got 2 or 3 wideouts back. Ainias Smith, Patty C, just caught like a DUI weapons charge, but it got dropped as we projected. We were in the SGPN Discord channel saying, "Oh, what night before SEC Media Day, he gets hit with those things."
Yeah,
and I said, "Watch, he won't even miss a fucking half." I said, "He won't even miss a half," and that seems to be true.
He was the team's leader in.
I mean, he's electric. He's electric.
Yeah.
Him, Jalen Preston, Chase Layden back. They had this 5-star freshman Evan Stewart coming in that I project will probably be starting. Breaking in a new tight end and Jake Johnson, but the offense, I would say, short of the quarterback, it's pretty good fucking offense.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And I don't even know that Max Johnson. I think obviously there's the lawn chair element that we allude to frequently. That in a pressure situation, he might not be the guy that's gonna like Kirk Cousins is your classic example of a guy that puts up great stats, but when the game's on the line, he's throwing a check down instead of gunning the ball down the field when you need a first down. Well, I don't know if that's Max Johnson, but it is Kirk Cousins.
Well, you just wonder in the SEC West, Bryce Young, Will Rogers, Jaden Daniels, KJ Jefferson, whatever Auburn decides to go with, it could be Calzada or Ole Miss Jackson Dart. I kind of think A&M has a bottom quarterback in the SEC West.
I don't know. I haven't really studied Max Johnson like to the nth degree, and watched enough tape on him to. What stood out to me was that.
I'm not trying to shit on him. Maybe he has a much better year. And
I mean, he started how many games he played?
It's more a testament to how good the SEC quarterbacks are in the West.
True.
You know what I mean?
I don't even know if you mentioned Mr. Heisman.
No, I did. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Okay. 12 games last year as the presumably at least playing, but presumably the starter for LSU for Max Johnson. What was their record? 6-7.
6-7. Yeah.
So the winning certainly leaves something to be desired. And LSU has no lack of talent either. So I think that's
they had 10 players drafted, second most in all of college football.
Yeah, a decent projection of what you would think you're going to get from him. 27 last year, 27.
No, but I think Jimbo Fisher is a much better head coach than Ed Orgeron.
Yeah, certainly offensively.
From an offensive standpoint.
Yeah. I expect Max Johnson to take a step forward. Losing Spiller hurts, but like you said, Octane is
high octane, baby.
I mean, well, let me take a look at his yards per rush. I believe
high octane,
7 yards per rush,
getting it done,
9 touchdowns. Obviously, an elite kick returner. A&M leads the conference in yards per return on kickoffs. So
had that big one against Bama.
Yep. There is some explosion there.
Now, I do worry a little bit about the defensive side of the ball because Mike Elko is the Duke Blue Devils head coach, and he was the defense coordinator a year ago, and they were 3rd in scoring defense, 36th in rush defense, 17th in pass defense, 14th overall. Patty C, they've replaced him with DJ Durkin and Tyler Santucci. I don't know how to pronounce that, but 2 defensive coordinators, 2 offensive coordinators. A lot of cooks in this kitchen, Patty C. Just 5 starters back on defense. They're replacing their entire defensive line. But as I alluded to before, they basically brought in like Dream Team the dream team of defensive linemen,
the Fab Five, the Fab Seven of the.
The question is how fast will they be able to make an impact?
This is a good question. Two defensive ends drafted, DeMarvin Leal and Michael Clemens. So they're going to have to step in if they want to replicate the production that was there last year.
Now they brought in Mekhi Overton from Liberty. I think that was a nice get in the portal. Just one linebacker back as well, and that's Andre White. Now they do return 4 or 5 in the secondary, led by safety Demani Richardson. They are breaking in a new kicker. If they're in some close games, they do return their punter.
Kicker's supposed to have a pretty dang good leg, though. Let's see if.
What do you make? What do you make of this team?
Well, preseason all conference in the SEC, according to some publications, have at least 3 offensive linemen: Robinson, Foster, and Fatheree Jr. on that list. So if you have a good offensive line, you have a running back like Achane, you have a defense that was number 3 in the country last year. Granted, you're losing your coordinator. I think a lot of elements
and the whole D line.
I think a lot of the elements are there. I think if you can gel quickly, and depending on what the beginning of their schedule looks like, maybe there's enough time. But I still think you're going to face a couple L's in SEC West play.
We're going to get to it. We're going to talk what Las Vegas expects from ATM, as they say, right? What are they, Texas ATM now?
That's right.
The cash machine.
That's right. Spitting out cash.
We're gonna go game by game on the schedule and give out what we project from the Aggies. We're also gonna talk recruiting. We're gonna talk transfer portal. But first, I gotta get us paid. I want to tell you folks out there that the college football experience, Texas A&M Aggies 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet. Get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. IP Vanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Draft Day 2.0. Yes, Ryan Real Money Kramer of the Sports Gambling Podcast will be drafting fantasy football best ball teams for 24 straight hours starting on August 9th at noon Pacific. And the crew will be amazing. We'll all be raising money for Daryl, a loyal listener of ours who was injured in a motorcycle accident. So we're doing our best to try to help out Daryl. You can also draft with Ryan and a ton of other special guests. All the details at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft day. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft day. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to assure that you get the best deal. The app also provides player statistics, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets, and it also has a bet tracker, so you can track all your records on game by game, conference by conference, team by team. So go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's OddsTrader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. Patty C, we are back talking Aggie football. Hopefully you're subscribed on YouTube. Subscribe to the College Football Experience because we handicap every single D1 football and basketball game for the past 5 years. All right, and our records speak for themselves. They're available on Tally site. So
we dive in.
Yeah,
we do what we do,
and we've done FCS too. We did some FCS when they went spring and FCS playoffs. We try to cover it all. But here we are, Patty C. The transfer portal for Texas A&M. They just brought in 2 guys: Mekhi Overton, defensive lineman from Liberty, who was pretty damn good with Liberty a season ago, and also quarterback Max Johnson, son of Brad Johnson, former Minnesota Viking and Florida State Seminole. They lost a lot though, Patty C. I got to
2 players. That's all they brought in.
2 players, and they lost defensive end Jason Harris to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Offensive tackle Derek Hunter is in the portal. Wide receiver Caleb Chapman went to Oregon. Baylor Cupp, who was, I believe, that was a 5-star at one point, went to Texas Tech. Wide receiver Damon Demas is in the portal. He was a 5-star as well. Safety Eric Young, portal. Wide receiver Daniel Bushland, portal. Defensive lineman RJ Arabo went to Southern Illinois in the FCS. Shout out to Stone Labanowitz. Running back Darvin Hubbard went to Temple. Running back DeAndre Jackson went to Oklahoma State, and Mike Gundy in the mullet. Quarterback Zach Calzada went to the Auburn Tigers. Cornerback Drayden Norwood went to the Missouri Tigers. And they lost defensive end Antonio Doyle to Deion Sanders in Jackson State. Patty C, I'm going to go ahead and say they lost the point. It's tough because if they get a starting quarterback, but Calzada, who started 10 games for them last year, left.
Yeah.
So
that's
a
win.
Wash, right?
I say that's a win.
I think it's a win for what Max Johnson's better than Calzada, correct?
Calzada's stats last year: 56% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So slightly better statistically, yes.
I think he's slightly better.
Yeah.
So I say you slight win there, but considering what you lost,
it's absolutely an L in the portal. This team really, it's surprising. You would think A&M is the type of program, not necessarily super strict academic things, which is usually what like a Stanford doesn't do any transfers because of that. But transfer over the last 4 cycles: 321, 255, 67, and 105.
Jimbo's a little old school, man.
Terrible. 13th in the conference, and that's only because Georgia really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So they would have been dead last. Other than that, he is old school. He is like
old
to transfer.
School. Talk to me about recruiting rankings.
Recruiting, they've improved under him. Obviously, 2018 they were number 17, but since then 5, 6, 9, and last year number 1 within the conference. Though you would think if you're 5, 6, 9, you would be pretty high within your conference, but no, 6, 3, 4, 4, and 1. They're still kind of like 3rd or 4th in the pecking order. In fact, as of last year, their 4-year composite talent rank was number 5 in the conference, behind I want to say Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Florida. So that's number 4 within their own division.
Yeah.
No, I guess Georgia and Florida are both in the division. So number 3 in the division, climbing up, getting closer.
Well, let's get to it. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the sweet ass graphic. Shout out to Cameron Kerr, by the way, SGPN graphics department. Cameron Kerr went to University of Texas A&M. Shout out to him. Patty C, the win total says 8.5, and I'm looking at the odds online right now. Currently, the overs at -150, the unders at +130. So Vegas saying they're going to go 9-3.
9-3, they think. Now we have noticed. We look back since 1998 or 1999 and beyond. They've only gotten to 10 wins once. So getting to 10 seems like a lot, but 9 may be more possible. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you go back. Yeah, I guess in the late, and I guess RC Slocum had them going in like 91 to 94 with 4 straight double-digit win seasons. But it's gonna be a tough thing to see here. Let's hop into it, man. Week 1. How do you see? Should we put a little upset alert out there? Sam Houston State won the FCS National Championship during the COVID season. Last year they were 11-1. They did lose Eric Schmid, their star quarterback, but Jordan Yates transfers in from Georgia Tech.
It's a big loss.
They also lost their star running back Raymond Jefferson, but they added Oklahoma State running back. But I mean, there's no way, right?
They beat Jacksonville State 42-7 last year. Jacksonville State beat Florida State last year.
Yeah.
So Sam Houston State, you're right, probably shouldn't be slept on, especially the local nature of this.
I like this. This is great. They should do this more often.
I do feel like Texas A&M
rolls.
Heavy
right?
favorite. Yeah.
The line of scrimmage is just going to be A&M rolls, and then they host Appalachian State and Chase Bryce.
I appreciate A&M challenging themselves.
Yeah, last year they didn't. I feel like this year they really are.
Yeah.
Watch out. I think this is a sneaky matchup here.
Long trip for the Mountaineers.
I'm just saying, if your offense isn't going yet, if Max Johnson's struggling, App State's got some guys.
Chippy. Yeah. They've done it before.
Yeah, they beat South Carolina at South Carolina. They beat Michigan at Michigan.
I mean, I want to say
Carolina at North Carolina.
Michigan was preseason number 5. I wonder what Texas A&M. Can we have a what was that, 2007 or so repeat?
Yeah. Well, in App State, not only did they beat those teams that we alluded to, they've also pushed Penn State season opener a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think Penn State ended up going like 10-3 that year.
Yeah.
They took them to overtime. App State should have won that game. And App State should have won at Tennessee.
Yeah.
They took Tennessee to overtime, and then last year they took Miami needed a last second field goal from about 48 yards to beat App State last year. So watch out.
I feel like A&M has just surpassed those other teams from a talent standpoint slightly, where they should be safe here, but A&M might not be that much more talented than Penn State was a few years back.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
It is a dangerous game, and then they get Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. Patty C. Kyle Field, 12th man. What are you doing here?
I feel like
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this, Patty C. They get that stupid game. I wish they would play this on campus. The matchup against Arkansas. I wish they would rotate these. I hate it at AT&T Stadium. It's terrible.
Yeah,
I think they're going to go 3-1 in the month of September. I think one of those teams will get them.
3-1. Oh, including the Arkansas game.
Yeah,
I'll say this: between Arkansas and the road trip to Mississippi State, I think they'll get gotten once. So I got them at 4-1.
Really? Well, I got them at 3-2 because I think they lose at Mississippi State. It's a great look ahead spot to the game that everyone's been talking about all year. And that gets me to my Sling Texas A&M game of the year. It's college football season, which means you need the unbeatable coverage of Sling TV starting at a $35 a month fee. Sling has all the big games on the biggest channels like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, SEC Network, ACC Network, Fox, and the Big Ten Network, all for the same price. So you can stream on any device, record up to 50 hours with included DVR space, and pause or change your service at any time. Check out Sling for special offers. Sling.com. Sling, the TV you love for the price you'll love. Try us today. Sling. Patty C. I got them actually. I got them losing at Mississippi State. I got them losing at Alabama.
So you got them at 3-3 here.
I do,
buddy. I think you're sleeping on the old Aggies here a little bit.
Well, I locked up the under last year and it hit. So,
what was the under last year?
9,
and when they go 8-4.
Yeah.
Well, now you got them at 3-3. So you're.
I think that's
if the under is 6 this year, then you're on pace.
I think that's a ridiculous stretch right there.
That is a tough stretch.
I wouldn't shock me if they were 2-4.
It would shock me. I mean, they did kind of get handled by Arkansas last year at the same venue.
Arkansas, one of the only 8 teams in the country that returned their starting quarterback, their head coach, their offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator.
I'm not sold 100% on Arkansas yet, although I do think they're legit. I feel like A&M should be better than them. I feel like A&M should be better than their first 5 teams they play.
Mississippi State won at College Station last year. What makes you so sure they're going to come into Stark Vegas?
I'm not sure, and that's why I have between Arkansas and Mississippi State a loss. But dude, Miami doesn't really strike me as Miami is still a paper tiger to me.
True, but I mean that's exactly what A&M's been to me. So it's kind of one of these ones. I think it's a 50-50
paper
game.
tiger bowl, week 3. Shots fired.
Look, I mean, I'm calling it. Look, A&M's good, but they're not great. So A&M was the team that was losing to a horrible Colorado team for 59 minutes. So to go ahead and say like, hey, A&M did lose to Ole Miss. They lost to Mississippi State. These teams that you think they're automatically better than, they've been losing to. So why should I just assume they're going to beat Miami?
Even that Alabama game. Now it's Alabama, so a win at all or even being competitive should be commended. But they almost gave that one up. They got up big, and Alabama.
They got severely outgained in the Bama game. I mean, look, I get it. The 12th man is unbelievable. I'm excited. I'm going to a game at the 12th man this year. I love what Texas A&M brings to college football, but I'm just saying, like, I'm taking A&M to beat Miami, but I do expect that to be a game.
Yeah, I expect it to be like a 7, 8, 9 point game.
I think that spread will probably be 5, 6. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But either way,
but realistically, I would deal them Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Bama as the losses. But it could be Miami, and then they beat Arkansas, and then I just think they lose.
3-3.
I think Mississippi State beat them in College Station last year, and I have more questions about this A&M team than last year's team. And I think Mississippi State's going to be better than last year. So,
well, you're right. That Spiller. Let's not
Spiller, Widemeyer, the guard we talked to. The fact their whole defensive line was there last year, and Mike Elko.
It's a lot of ammunition you're packing there, buddy. But I have to acknowledge you make some good points. That said, I got them 4-1, and then I do have Alabama kind of getting revenge here pretty good in Tuscaloosa. 4-2 for me.
They get a bye week and then they stay on the road. So in a way, you could say they've been on the road 4 straight weeks. If you count the Arlington, Texas game as that stupid dome game as one, but then they head to Williams-Brice to take on Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks. I'll give this one to A&M, even though I think it's dangerous.
Little tricky.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous. What are you doing there?
South Carolina is going to be up for it. The bye helps, but South Carolina also has a bye coming into that week. I got to go A&M there.
So I got them 4-3. You got them at 5-2.
5-2. Yep.
They're home to Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat them pretty soundly last year.
What was the score on that one? 29-19 on the road.
But Durkin comes over from Ole Miss, so I do think he'll have a way to stop him. And I also think home field really matters a lot in college football.
Plus Levy is gone.
Yeah, I will take A&M to beat Ole Miss. So I got them then at 5-3, right? 5-3.
Okay, look at you turning that corner. I'll say this: between Ole Miss and Florida, there's a loss there. Most likely, I don't know. Napier, Fisher has a huge head start on him right now, and that game being played in College Station, maybe they can get both Ole Miss and Florida.
I got them beating Ole Miss and Florida, so I got them moving to 6-3.
Man, I think that puts. I don't know. I might agree with you. I might put them at 7-2. I might have them at 6-3. It's pretty tough at this point.
I got them at 6-3, and then they head to Jordan Hare. Will Brian Harsin be coaching this game? Who knows? It's a tough place to win. However, Patty C, I got them at 7-3.
Look at you. I certainly have them at 3 losses by the Auburn game. Let me see what the recent history in this series has been. 2 straight by Texas A&M, but prior to that, 3 in a row by Auburn. Generally, I guess a relatively competitive game. I think they have a loss. I'll say that between Ole Miss, Auburn, and Florida, there's a loss.
All right, I got them at 7-3, and then they host this annual rivalry match, a border battle. The UMass Minutemen come to Kyle Field. Patty C, I got them at 8-3.
I do too.
And then they host Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers, and I got LSU winning that one, so I got them at 8-4. I am on the under. And maybe I could make you can make a case that they lose at Auburn and beat LSU. Maybe either way, I got them 8-4.
Yeah, I want to see the Louisiana State series recently. LSU has gotten them a lot. I mean, 2 of the last 4 for A&M, but prior to that, LSU had won. It looks like 8 or 7 in a row. So. I don't know though. Kelly does make a big difference. That's a huge game, obviously for the.
And by then, I think Kelly will really have his team.
I think that's where the rubber meets the road. You know, whether they get the over or not. I feel like I want to lean under.
I feel pretty good about the under because I'm giving them a win at Auburn, a win to Florida, a win to Ole Miss, a win at South Carolina, a win to Miami, a win to App State.
Yeah, I
feel pretty good about the under.
So you don't see the championship pedigree on this team just yet?
No,
they're not.
Like I said, Colorado was one of the worst teams. I think you can make a case. Colorado was maybe the worst Power 5 team last year, short of Arizona, maybe.
Yeah,
and I get it. That's just one game. You can take it out of context, but
it was a terrible look.
I just need to see better quarterback play. I don't know that I've ever been all on board with Jimbo Fisher. I think he's a good coach.
Where do you put him in the pecking order of SEC coaches and SEC West coaches in particular?
Well, I mean, I think I put him like 4th.
SEC overall?
Yeah.
You put him behind Saban, obviously.
Behind Saban, behind Kelly, behind Leach, and then
you put him behind Smart.
Oh no, I thought you said SEC West.
Oh, SEC West, yeah.
But obviously I would put him behind Smart. Yes.
So 5th in the SEC, and then 4th in the SEC West.
I think you can make a case for Stoops too.
Maybe, but I mean, obviously, I'd like to see. We might see Stoops at Florida State. See if he can do what Fisher did there.
Fisher was the beneficiary of winning a national championship pre CFP. They just ran the ACC, which I don't think was that hard. And then they got Auburn in the national championship game. But even that game came down to a 4th down. Had a lot of breaks go their way. A big kick return.
That's true. Florida had kind of taken a step back by the time Florida State, elevated to that level. Oh, I kind of agree with you. I'm not 100. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's a bad coach. You can't.
No, I would never say that he's a bad coach. I think he's solid. But
he lost 3 games in 3 years at Florida State. That's pretty damn good, you know.
Okay, but at Florida State, we've talked about this before. Like turnkey program. Like he was handed the keys of a Cadillac. Now I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the accolades might be a little bit more than I'm ready.
He's very Brian Kelly-ish.
Yes,
he's very Brian Kelly-ish.
Folks, also SGP crew, me, myself, Stacking the Money Green, and Sean. Real Money Kramer. I think we'll be at that Ole Miss game on Saturday, October 29th at Kyle Field. So come drink a beer with us. If all goes correct, we will be there. So I'm excited to be. Look,
boom,
and we can chop it up then and talk with A&M fans. That's what I'm saying. Let me grab that thing.
Come on here.
Boom, boom. Let's go.
Man in the house.
Let's go. I'm ready for that.
Hey, you know we should throw up a little or throw down a little bit. Welcome.
There we go. Horns down.
Horns
there
down
we go.
Fuck
Texas.
Damn right.
Fuck Texas. Look, maybe I'm wrong. I would love to see A&M. I would love to see a shuffle. I just don't see it yet. But I'm saying like I would love to see A&M win the SEC West.
Any chance he can get Bama again?
No.
Saving.
Not this Bama team. This Bama team's loaded.
Well, they were pretty
next
damn
year
loaded
in
last
College
year.
Station. Maybe.
Yeah, I think they're getting closer. I think A&M, they just keep it up. He's got to get the recruiting class. I want to say right now is sitting at number 34. Obviously, he's going to close stronger than that, but he needs to be in the top 5 to 6 every single year if he's going to get over that hump. So
sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Keep it up, Jimbo. Keep going.
There we go, folks. I'm on the under. He's on the under. Subscribe to the college football experience. Subscribe to the college basketball experience, as I alluded to too. I think Buzz Williams is going to have A&M in the tournament this year, and also check out the college baseball experience with me and Noah Beanick. Look, if you can go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review, we'd certainly appreciate that. We do this each and every year, breaking down all 131 college football teams. And look, if you give us a 5-star review, say some nice things about us, take a screenshot, find me on Twitter. Find the college football experience on Twitter at TCE on SGPN or myself at the Colby D. Show us that screenshot, and we're gonna enter you in a raffle to get SGPN gift card. Our store is brand new; it's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it, folks. Leave us. It takes 30 seconds out of your day. All right, come on, do it. Also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. They're breaking down all 32 NFL teams right now, 32 episodes, going through the win totals, you know, who you should draft in fantasy football, all this nonsense. There's good nonsense, might I add, but check it out. If you're a Cowboys fan, Texans fan, I don't know who they like down there. The Saints, maybe, I don't know.
Deep diving for the Texas folk.
So check that out. Check out all of our other podcasts, NBA Gambling Podcast. I know maybe some Dallas Maverick or Houston Rocket fans there, San Antonio Spurs. What else do we got? We got the Formula One gambling podcast. I mean, golf gambling podcast. Everyone loves golf. Boxing, MMA gambling podcast. You go on and on and on. Soccer gambling podcast. Got the World Cup coming in November, Patty C. MLS gambling podcast. Whatever. MLB gambling. Look, get the SGPN app. You'll have access to all of that.
The good folks in College Station aren't worried about soccer. You know,
True, but still,
we're gonna hype it anyway. Maybe you guys
there's some DJs that are just betting and saying, you know what?
I know it wasn't Clint Dempsey, a Texas boy.
I don't know that answer.
He was one of the all-stars on the soccer U.S. soccer team. Yeah, look, maybe Texas does like their soccer.
I don't know.
We got everything for you guys.
I'm just spitballing here. I'm just spitballing. All right, we know Texas loves football. Subscribe to the USFL Gambling Podcast as well. Subscribe to the CFL Gambling Podcast. Yes, Canadian Football League going on now in the summer, folks. We got you covered. Hop into the Discord channel. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. I think you'll dig it. We're talking all things betting, it's just a lot of fun. Even if you're not even into gambling, you're in there talking. It's just everything you can think of. Even like a movie section, a food section, what you're throwing on the grill this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Check it out. And folks, also check out like I said, subscribe on YouTube, the College Football Experience. So youtube.com/the College Experience. All right, folks. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC_NICK. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. We are the College Football Experience. Give us a follow and let's kick some ass. All right. This is the College Football Experience, Texas A&M style. Horns fucking down. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know what you're getting